That's a big one.
Boom! Since it hosted the Classic back in 1976, Lake Guntersville in Alabama has been a primo destination for the Bassmasters.
Hot dog, baby. Oh my God, it's a big one.
The big limits always seem to show up,
Watch out.
and the drama and tight competition come with them. This time, the final day leader can turn a horrible season into a great one if he can just bring it home.
That's one of them.
But he's got some hungry veterans right on his heels.
Got another one. They're in there.
Yes. It's going to be a classic Guntersville slugfest, and we'll take you all the way to the final fish, starting right now.
Lights out.
It's the Elite Series Southern Challenge, presented by Purolator.
We're up and at 'em. We wouldn't miss anything on this special day, this final day, championship day, Lake Guntersville. Stop number 5 for the Bassmaster Elite Series. We got 12 anglers in play here. We're going to show you all the fishing, and we will show you the winner when it's all said and done at this legendary fishing spot. Terry Butcher, Talala, Oklahoma. That's the guy who comes into this final day with a very, very slim lead. The problem is, look at these wolves in pursuit of him, including Jason Quinn right here. Served notice last week that he's in it to win it. Had a good tournament at Clarks Hill. He's done great here at Guntersville. Terry Scroggins, he figures he's due a great season each and every year. He hasn't got it kicked off this year. He's coming up big time at Guntersville. And a whole season and a half of the Elite Series without a Kevin VanDam win. Guess what? KVD is in a position to win this one right here. Again, we got 12 anglers on this final day, 8 hours of fishing. Best 3-day total is going to net the $100,000 first prize. Tommy Sanders here with Mark Zona. There's our playing field, a 3-day tournament because day one, and they hardly ever do this with the Bassmasters, was actually weathered out. It was so evil looking that they could not do it. So we got 3 days, but you can get 4 days worth of fishing in 3 days at this place. That's for sure. Guntersville is special.
And let's dial you in what's going on here. Basically, Lake Guntersville, it's a post-spawn deal. The water temp's 68 to 70 degrees. A lot of the fish are funneling out of the coves and the creeks, and they're coming to the main river channel ledge. Another thing, there's a big shad spawn on this lake right now, and the fish start to gorge themselves for summer. We're going to talk about ledges, and the number one thing about ledges I want to learn, I really got into these guys' heads, what makes a good ledge and what makes a bad ledge. We're going to find out in this show.
We're also looking forward to our majors, $250,000 to the winner there. First one coming up, the next event. These guys are trying hard to qualify. We got a Koto Kiriyama, Yosuke Miyazaki, also Shaw Grigsby in this top 12. Doing themselves some good here. We'll get you all updated on that list of who's qualifying later on in the show today. Our leaderboard, there he is, Terry Butcher, very slim lead. The biggest thing in his rear view has got to be Kevin VanDam,
It is,
right?
and Kevin VanDam said after day 2, he said, these are the worst days of the week I've had. He still caught 20 pounds of bass. Terry Butcher needs to come out firing this morning.
All right, final day, and we are underway out on the lake. All 75 miles of Guntersville coming into play. Our leader, Terry Butcher. How bad has his season been so far? A 97th on Amistad, California Delta, 108. Clear Lake, 100th, and 106th at Clarks Hill. Pretty bad stuff as we look at his track to the south of Mill Creek.
I mean, I'm sure he's not too happy you gave those stats right there.
Well, no, he brought it up to me. He said he is not living the dream this year.
Here is the dream on this lake right now, Tommy Sanders. All of these guys are focusing on about a 1-hour window in the morning where they're rolling spinnerbaits through this grass. That's when all these shad are so active. The shad are most active in the low light periods of the day.
All the guys we talked to at the launch early this morning said the same thing exactly. They said, what's your chances of success today? It matters what happens the first 2 hours of fishing out here. So that light level you say is critical.
And really, yeah, and the first hour of this tournament is critical. Terry Butcher needs to fire a shot early.
Terry Scroggins, formerly of Palatka, Florida, now lives in a place called San Mateo, Florida, known for his sight fishing abilities and all his abilities there on the St. Johns River, where he's just absolutely cleaned house for years and years. He's got one win at this level with the Bassmasters when he just lapped the field down at Okeechobee a couple of years back.
And if you ask Terry Scroggins what he's doing going way up the river, and he said, man, I'm fishing just like VanDam. I'm fishing these ledges, but I'm concentrating on where that grass mixes, the hydrilla and the milfoil.
You know what I really need to do is catch 3 or 4 good fish before the sun gets up, and then this afternoon I feel like I can catch them deep cranking. So really need a couple of key good bites this morning. Get that 20-pound mark. There he is. Don't think he's that big, but he'll get things started. Man, he's pretty good. Up in here. That'll work. Got a little salad with him. Woo! Good 3.5 pounder. That's the way to start things anyway.
Terry Scroggs, pretty nice salad draped across that largemouth bass right there. Going now to a guy who I know you were picking for this tournament because of his ability to fish just that kind of stuff, all that vegetation. Kelly Jordan of Mineola, Texas.
It's the third day of the event. I'm about 5 pounds back from the lead. I need to catch 25 pounds a day to have a chance, but you never know.
There, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Kelly Jordan making a move on this final day. We got on the water, Tommy Sanders, on day 2, and Kelly Jordan hammered him, over 22 pounds of bass. And if you watch these guys on the River Channel, it's all reaction-based. No plastic worms, no jigs, all reaction.
Come here. Oh, geez, now you're gonna bite. God, thought you were done. We got it. Whew. Thought that fish was done, the stupid thing then, and decides to start jumping and carry on. Jeez, now you're gonna fight. God. You're fine. All right. Oh, thank you, Lord. Needed that one.
Kelly Jordan looking pretty confident, picked up where he left off on day number 2. He's got it working on Lake Guntersville, moves from 7th all the way up into 3rd place. So it's Terry Butcher starting the day with his small lead. Can he hold off his pursuers and put away a win here at Guntersville? We'll be right back.
Ooh, this is fun.
It's the Elite Series Southern Challenge, presented by Purolator. And brought to you by Lowrance, Toyota Tundra, and Mercury Marine.
We're back. The Southern Challenge presented by Purolator, 5th stop of the year on this 2007 Bassmaster Elite Series. All his field has already been out west, tried their luck out there. They landed back in the south last week at Clarks Hill Reservoir, and here we are on some of the most storied fishing grounds, sport fishing grounds anyway, in all the United States, Lake Guntersville on the Tennessee River. And now we go out to another one of our finalists, our 12 anglers out there on the final day. Mark Tucker, St. Louis, Missouri. He's been in this business for about 10 years out here fishing with the Bassmasters. Still looking for his first big win out here as well. Placed 8th here last year. Has made only 1 cut this year out of the California Delta.
On the weekends here on Guntersville, they hold this water. They won't run no current per se. So what happens is the lake backs up a little bit. I think it scatters the fish out a little bit. And or through the week we had big chances of thunderstorms. So they pulled a little bit of water down, keep the water from getting high. And you know, the problem we got is the first day that it.
Here we go, Mark Tucker, another one of these guys who can really, in fact, turn his season around if he can score big in a meaningful way early on this final day. And we talk about 75 miles of Lake Guntersville. It's all good habitat, but how do you find those special places that are loaded with largemouth on this particular week?
Well, here's the amazing thing about Mark Tucker. He's fishing in the area near Seabold Creek. He said, look, the conditions are the same as they were last year where he was in the top 10. He said, I'm never going to practice there. I'm just going to start the event there. Another person doing that right now, KVD, Kevin VanDam, fishing out on the ledge, all right? He's out on the main river. He said, I've got 1 crankbait spot I've been saving for this final day. And if I get calm conditions and sunny skies, game over.
This place is unbelievable. It's got a bunch of bass. There's a huge spawning area just inside of it, and I've been kind of saving it for the last day. The first day I needed a couple of fish. I kind of snuck in here when there was nobody around and caught 7 and 7 casts. And I caught a couple here yesterday. I had to come here. I just wasn't doing good. I was afraid showing it off would kill it. But this is a place that they'll get to with the sunshine. I just leave it every hour and I'll keep catching them. It's definitely a spot you can win on. There it is.
VanDam fields one on right there. You and I piled into the boat with James Overstreet, taking pictures for ESPNOutdoors.com on Saturday, day 2 of this tournament. Followed KVD around. Looked like pretty simple stuff, just sort of hugging that river channel right there. But you say it's more complicated.
It is, and Kevin VanDam said the most important tool in his arsenal right now is his GPS. He'll go down these break lines and make very, very pinpoint casts to these ledges. And what he's trying to do is just find the heaviest grass. He'll catch 2, 3 bass out of an area, then he'll let it rest and hit it later in the day.
Kevin VanDam, a good keeper in the boat right there, gets his day underway in a positive way. Now out to Jason Quinn. As we say, he kind of started turning his season around last week at Clarks Hill. Finished in 15th place. He'd like to improve on that this time around.
It's a pretty good one right here. We can get her to bite. I'll put it on him like I can nearly put it on that truck. There she is. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right, that better fish. Number 5. I still need Big Mama.
Jason Quinn doing very well on this final day, and there's our leader again to start the day, Terry Butcher. A moral victory just to make a cut here, making the top 12 even better, but he won't be satisfied with anything but a win this time.
Man, I'm right there. I want to win the tournament, you know. I'd like to still have that big lead I had the first day, but I let that go away yesterday. But I haven't really put the pressure on myself, but I want to win it. I mean, I really want to win this tournament. Man, I've had a horrible year. I mean, just horrible. Hopefully this deal here will turn it around.
Terry Butcher, it sounds like for him it's got to be all or nothing. Got to have the big win in order to turn his season around. The only problem is he's been going kind of in the wrong direction the past day or so. He started with the biggest limit of the tournament, over 26 pounds on day 1. He's been going the other way ever since.
He has, and on day 1, man, we had a bunch of wind, and all Terry was doing was throwing a spinnerbait, man. He caught him all day long, but on day 2, the wind started to die, and the spinnerbait bite was dying. He resorted to flipping boat docks, doing a little sight fishing, just fishing random in general. And now on day 3, he's got a very, very small window to capitalize on that spinnerbait bite. And you got to ask yourself right now, is Terry Butcher just running out of fish, period?
Well, right now you wouldn't think that's the case. That's pretty good fish right there. And that is going to extend Terry Butcher's lead now to 4 pounds. So he continues his quest. He's going to try to put this thing away against all odds when you look at the guys who are stacked up behind him. Last time around, we had several rookies in the field at Clarks Hill. Not a single one this time, but when we come back, we're going to check out our Toyota Rookie of the Year race and see how that one is shaping up. That and plenty more competitive fishing on the way from Guntersville.
Good fish, good fish, good fish.
The Southern Challenge presented by Purolator. This is the Bassmaster Elite Series, 5th stop of the year. We're at a legendary spot where they had the Classic back in 1976. Of course, Rick Quinn won his first of 4 Classics right here on Lake Guntersville on the Tennessee River. Let's take a look at our Toyota Rookie of the Year standings. And based on that first win, followed it up with a second place the first 2 events of the year. Derek Rimmons still firmly in charge of that one right there. Brian Hudgens giving chase. Casey Ashley had a good tournament last time around at Clarks Hill down on the border between South Carolina and Georgia. Here's a guy who's having a good day so far on this final day. Great tournament so far for Kevin VanDam, tied for second place right now, 4 pounds behind our leader.
Oh, he pulled off. Son of a... Got another one. They're in there. We're going to catch him big time. Another good one. Hang on, I'm coming. It's fixing to be on.
Pressure starting to mount on our leader, Terry Butcher, unofficially tied with KVD. Now over to Terry Scroggins.
I feel like if I can catch a 6-pound fish this morning, I'll have a chance to win this thing, because I really feel like I can go to my cranking spot and catch 3.5, 4 pound fish. And a 6-pounder right now give me about 22. with what I think I can catch off my cranking hole. So, and that's probably what it's going to take. I might have 21, 22 pounds to have a chance, I think.
All right, we watch Terry Scroggins. We look where he's set up. We know exactly what he's doing right here. Is he in a good spot? I mean, of course he says it's not going to last forever, but is he doing the right thing?
You've got to give the nod right now to Terry Scroggins, Kevin VanDam, guys like Kelly Jordan. They're all fishing areas the bass are coming to. Guys like Jason Quinn, Terry Butcher, they're fishing areas that the bass are leaving. But this river channel ledge deal, that's where the bass are all funneling to right now.
All right. Instead of catching a 6, we're going to catch an 8. If our little ones are going to be like this.
Terry Scroggins now a half-pound behind our leaders. Back out now to Terry Butcher. We got Scroggins, Kevin VanDam basically running neck and neck at the front of the pack right now. VanDam and Scroggins may be doing different methods from time to time, but they're staying on the same fish. We know that Butcher's been going to the bank, coming back out to these fish, vacillating. Which ploy do you like better?
I think you have to give the nod right now to either Terry Scroggins or Kevin VanDam for the simple fact all of their spots are reloading, okay? And they've got like a 1-2 punch on them. They'll catch them on a spinnerbait. Then as those fish fade deeper, they'll catch them on a crankbait. It seems when the spinnerbait thing dies for Terry Butcher, it is game over.
Terry Butcher, apparently a spinnerbait thing hasn't died just yet. He's got what looks to be pretty good sized fish on. Could be a good keeper if he can put this one in the boat and extend his lead again. Going to break him out of the pack just a little bit by 2.5 pounds or so. And yeah, that's a good one right there for Terry Butcher. So now we got unofficially him at 52.5.
Oh, on that booyah spinnerbait. That trailer hook tagged him. Got a little grass in the mouth. Let's put her on this side. Ooh. Where's my bait?
Well, we may talk about the direction he's been heading. We may talk about his method, but Terry Butcher staying about 2.5 pounds ahead of the pack here. Now over to Jason Quinn. Jason Quinn started in second. Got his game face on today.
There's one real good one back here. It's been teasing me all week.
Jason Quinn currently sitting in 4th place. Now he's doing something completely different.
Jason Quinn's been doing a lot of sight fishing later in the day, and he said he's trying to find bass that are spawning that are the latest wave on this lake. And the way to do that, he said pockets near the main river, okay? Not pockets that go way back. He said those would get the most attention. He said, I'm trying to find groups of fish spawning that nobody else is finding.
Is that a good numbers game, trying to get the last group, the last flight of spawn?
I think so. I mean, he's got a little river channel game in the morning, and then he goes and looks for some spawners. It's exactly what Mike Iaconelli did last year.
Come here, girl. Come here. All right. A cold one. Good fish, good fish, good fish. It's a good call.
A good call right there. Jason Quinn staying in 4th place, but getting a whole lot closer to our leaders. Still Terry Butcher on top. We'll check out all of our 12 finalists on this championship day when we come back, and we'll check back in with Kevin VanDam, always the guy to look out for.
Nothing better than a spinnerbait bite, man.
Nothing better. It's the Elite Series Southern Challenge, presented by Purolator.
The Southern Challenge, 5th stop of the year for the Bassmaster Elite Series. We are on legendary Lake Guntersville on the final day, championship day. Take a look at the leaderboard, and the man who started this final day with the lead, Terry Butcher, still in charge by about 3.5 pounds, ahead of Kevin VanDam. Terry Scroggins and Jason Quinn. Let's look at our Berkeley big bag of the tournament.
Terry Butcher, 26-pound, 3-ounce limit on day 1 of the tournament. Guarantee you he wishes he had that right now.
Again, we got 12 anglers who were down from our original field of about 108. 12 anglers shooting for the $100,000 first prize on this final day. Among them, this man, originally from Japan, now lives in the Lake Fork area, Mineola, Texas. Yusuke Miyazaki had a good tournament last year at Guntersville, still looking for his first win with the Bassmasters.
And from Texas, the man that took 2nd here last year, Alton Jones, my friend Tommy Sanders. The heavens are shining on Alton this morning so far. Unofficially, 7th place, 41 pounds.
Take a look, too, at Kodo, Kotaro Kiriyama the Ninja, they call him. This man has been fishing up in North Saudi Creek, shallow water up there. He, too, using the spinner baits to get where he's gotten in this tournament. He slipped a little bit today. He's down at 40.5 pounds in 9th place, unofficial. All these weights are unofficial. Now let's get out to the lake. And Mark Tucker, the man from St. Louis, Missouri, tremendous eater. Can he put down about a dozen eggs at breakfast, half a pound of bacon? He works out all the time, so he sort of evens things out.
Not only that, Tommy, he bears a striking resemblance to any cast member of the show Deadwood.
I really don't know what you're talking about there.
Neither do I. It just really sounded cool.
Good guy, though, and he's doing well on this final day.
Fishing here every day and that, you really get intimate with how everything lays, you know. The first day, you kind of got to go through there and fish and see where the grass goes and make little points in the grass. And the more you get to fish it, the more you know where the key spots are going to be. And I already should have had 3 or 4 fish. Those fish know it's going to be a high pressure day, because yesterday oh, it's a big one. It's a big one. Stay down. Stay down, baby. Stay down. Stay down. Oh my God, it's a big one. Oh my gosh. Please, Lord, stay on there. Please, Lord. Oh, don't do that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Watch out. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm shaking. I'm shaking. Oh my gosh. Good morning, boys and girls. Hot dog, baby. Ow! Now we're having fun.
A lot of fun catching fish like that. Solid upgrade, and solidly in 5th place is Mark Tucker over to Scroggins.
When I started off this tournament, I was throwing a 3/4 ounce spinnerbait, trying to move real fast and cover a lot of water. And the last 2 days, it seemed like we had to kind of drop down on size. And actually, I'm just throwing one single Colorado blade right now, just kind of letting it go flutter through the grass, and it's easier to work through that grass. Seems like the fish are not quite as active as what they was through practice in the first day of the tournament. It's kind of triggering a few more bites. You just got to fish it a little bit slower. There it is, right here, the boat. That's a good one too. Come here, there we go. Woo! Woo! Right there, help. All right, 4 more of them. That fish hit like 10 feet away from the boat. Tore my old booyah spinnerbait all to pieces. That's all right, they make more of them.
Terry Scroggins staying on top of it, adjusting his equipment. That's a good fish right there. Jumps him over KVD into 2nd place, just a half pound behind the leader. Here's VanDam.
Oh, I just missed it. God, I just don't get it. I got the skirt cut short with just a shorter trailer on it. I mean, that first one I hooked on, the first 2 bites I had on it were just, I mean, they were those ones that go, you know, those good ones. And both of them pulled off. I've had 2 or 3 more that just don't get it. And that's the nature of this bait, though. I just had another one. Unbelievable. I'm gonna try my little smaller spinnerbait first. Come back through it with it. I hate to get them all jacked up on that thing. And
Starting to see a little momentum building right here, aren't we, Tommy? Kevin VanDam, just like Terry Scroggins, downscaling their baits, showing the fish something different right now. And old Dirty T, I'm going to tell you something. There is KVD's a riding dirty. KVD's a riding.
Okay, got it. I guess by that you mean Kevin VanDam starting to get some momentum going right here. Boy, this looks like a good one right here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, that one's going to put him in the lead. Right now, Kevin VanDam on top. Boom.
That's the ones right there. I got 2 5s now. That's a pretty good upgrade right there. God, I love that. Nothing better than a spinnerbait bite, man. Nothing better.
He's all kind of blissed out right now. Kevin VanDam looking super confident. Not a good sign for the rest of these players here on day number 3 of this tournament. Final day, 12 anglers in it, but Kevin VanDam looking strongest of all right now. When we come back, we'll take you into Mark Zona's underwater world to see what's really happening. Lake Guntersville, a special place through the years for all the Bassmaster tournaments, 17 of them that have been held right here. This is the most recent edition, 2007 Southern Challenge. Final day competition. Terry Butcher started out with the lead, but it has been seized by the #1 man in the sport of bass fishing, Kevin VanDam. Here's our #1 co-angler from this tournament right here, Brian Talmadge. 29 pounds, 3 ounces over 3 days. Not too shabby. $50,000 prize package, including a boat and motor. Right now, let's get out to the man who started the day with the lead and has now surrendered it to Kevin VanDam, Terry Butcher.
I'm going back here for 1 5-pounder, about a 5.5 pounder. I caught her in practice, and I mean the water was muddy. And I come back in here yesterday, and the water is still muddy, but I seen her yesterday. I just barely seen her, but I know she's still there. I couldn't get her to bite yesterday. Maybe today. We're gonna go try it.
And Butcher started with the lead. Now he's a 1/2 pound behind VanDam, and he's getting off of this spinnerbait bite. Apparently think that's gone, right?
Well, he does, and this is exactly how he caught him on day 2, and he only caught 16 pounds. And catching 16 pounds on Lake Guntersville is about par. And right now, Terry Butcher has got to put some bigger ones in the boat.
Well, he's got a pretty good one right there. As a matter of fact, that fish, when he culls, will be good enough to put him back over the lead over Kevin VanDam. So now it's back and forth between these two. Out to Mark Tucker. Tucker currently in 5th place right now. About 10 pounds back of the leaders, though, so he's got to have something big happen on this final day, these last few hours of fishing.
I mean, one ought to just be a giant right here. But I've caught 2 6-pounders right here, so I know there's some big ones staying here for some reason. A lot thicker grass over here. There's a lot of it. The reason I went to a Colorado blade is so you could feel the vibration. A willow leaf blade, you got more flash than vibration. And I think when you trying to get a reaction strike, you need something with a lot of vibration, you know? So that's why I stuck with this chatterbait, because when I hop it out of that grass, it's got a ton of vibration, but I can also kill the bait and falls right back. Almost like a jig, you know, hopping a jig up out of that grass and you get a reaction bite. Oh, big one. Oh, it's a big one. It's a big one. Ah, dang! Wow! Hot dog! Love it, baby. I knew it. I knew it. Look at that, huh? How about them? Boy, that's a dandy. I knew when he drilled it. I knew when I bowed up, man, he was a hog. He slammed it. I mean, slammed it. It's a feeling everybody needs to have, you know. When you feel that and load up, man, it was unbelievable.
Haven't we been wanting some chatterbait all day long? Just begging for some chatterbait. Mark Tucker there with a perfect chatterbait lesson and a great result as well. I know you're going to show us this thing underwater, but talk about this lure.
Well, here's what's been going on here all week is day 1 and day 2, we had very, very heavy winds. The spinnerbait was playing, man. Everybody was catching them on a spinnerbait, but we lost that wind. And the fish they're kind of conditioned to the spinnerbait. Now, if you went in Mark Tucker's area, tons of locals on this final day throwing spinnerbaits. That's when he's gone to this little dude, the chatterbait. And the best way to describe it, it's not as overwhelming or overpowering as a spinnerbait. Smaller profile, not as flashy. And what he's doing, he's throwing this bait out, and all it does coming in is it's a lot of vibration. What he wants that bait to do is grab that grass, and when he rips it free, he gets a reaction strike with it. Same thing Kevin VanDam's doing out on the river channel ledge with this little weapon right here, the crankbait. Little Series 5 Strike King crankbait. He calls it the sexy shad pattern.
Really?
We're going to go under the water right now. And the one thing we've said this entire tournament, Kevin VanDam was talking about where that grass mixed together, the hydrilla and the milfoil. He was trying to get that crankbait hung up in that grass, and he would snap it free and get a reaction strike. And he said if it got calm and it got sunny, he would knock their lights out. And that's exactly what's happening right now.
We look at Kevin VanDam, you look at his last 6 years here with the Bassmaster. It's hard to argue that he's not the #1 man in fishing. Look at that in that period of time. 2 classic titles over his career, 10 wins with the Bassmasters, an incredible 70 top 10 finishes coming into this tournament here. He's about $2.25 million. If he can win this one, he gets way ahead in that race.
Today's my day. There's a good one. There's a good one. There's a good one. That's a good one right there, my friend. I bet we can use that one. That's a big one, if it's a bass. And I believe it is. Yep. He's not hooked good. It's a good one. Yeah. So one. It's a big one. Boom! That'll work right there. That one will work.
Kevin VanDam trying to hold it in, but obviously he is incredibly jacked up at this point, right?
The ball game right there, Tommy Sanders.
Yeah, it could be the final nail in the coffin unless Terry Butcher or one of these other guys can mount some sort of miraculous charge to get back on top of the leaderboard. Southern Challenge presented by Purolator, the Bassmaster Elite Series, and Kevin VanDam looking to put it away. The Southern Challenge. We've been out west for about 3 weeks with the Bassmasters. We came back to the south for one at Clark's Hill last time around. Now we're ready to go on Lake Guntersville. Final day action. We're getting close to deciding this one right here. 5th event of the year for the Bassmaster Elite Series anglers. 12 anglers in it in this final day. Terry Butcher, the young man who started with a bad season going for him so far. No cuts this year, and looking to win this one, has been overtaken by the #1 man in the sport of bass fishing, Kevin VanDam, fishing out here on legendary Lake Guntersville. Let's take a look who's improving this year.
Toyota Moving Forward Award, Most Improved Angler over last year. Fred Rambanis, 69th last year, right now sitting in 7th place.
Again, we got 12 anglers in it on this final day. Let's take a look at some of the guys we haven't had a chance to get out on the lake with so far because of time constraints. How about Shaw Grigsby? One of the greatest of all time. He started out with that spinnerbait action, but has gone to the bank looking for spawners, much as we saw Jason Quinn doing earlier. And Ben Matsubu from down there in the Lake Rayburn, Toledo Bend area, had a good tournament here at Guntersville, trying to put together a kind of a season for himself that he can be proud of and get back into the elites for next season. But today, right now, he's sitting in 11th place.
Probably the biggest favorite coming into this event. Alabama's Timmy Horton, unofficially 42 pounds, 8 ounces, sitting in 12th place, about the most we've heard from Timmy Horton since this year's Classic on Lay Lake.
We're on Lake Guntersville today, and always a classic spot to have a bass tournament for the Bassmasters. The 17th visit to Guntersville, which always kicks out the big bass, like this one. First big bass of the day for Kelly Jordan. Ditto, the first bass of the day for our leader, Terry Butcher, coming in. He was looking great at this point.
And you gotta throw in a 6-pounder to kick the day off for Mark Tucker on, of all things, a chatterbait.
And Purelator big bass of the tournament, well, that was back on day one, 7:15 from our classic champ, Boyd Duckett. Time is running out, though, for these 12 anglers out here. Kevin VanDam on the lead, one of the guys giving chase, Mark Tucker.
And Tucker said the biggest key in his area, it held bigger shad. You know, we talk about the shad spawn, and you know, there's shad spawning all over this lake. Tucker said the main reason his bass were there, big shad.
Come on. Sorry, cotton picker. You sorry. No good. Son of a gun. Bite. I'd sure hate to have one more right now. 6-pounder. Cap it off. Boy, it ought to happen right there now. Come on. There you go. Oh, it's a big one. It's a big one. Stay on there, baby. Stay on there. Stay on there. Damn the good luck, huh?
Mark Tucker, definitely one of the stars out here today. Terrific stuff right there. He moves into second place with that fish right there, but check it out. He's still 7.5 pounds back of Kevin VanDam. Kevin VanDam, unbelievably, has not had a win with the Elite Series. Of course, he won 3 with the Elite 50s and that Classic to end up 2005. Could he go on another streak now?
Absolutely. You know, we talk about guys, you know, every week fishing their strength, and Kevin VanDam has 2 strengths. Obviously, crankbaiting is one of them. And the other one, he's a wonderful wrestler. He's cousins with WWE star Rob Van Dam.
All right.
No, serious. No, I made the last part up, but it sounded cool. Sort of did.
Can't tell. Feels like a pretty good one. Yeah, it's a good one. Yes, enough. That'll cold. Another one. Lights out.
Yeah, lights out. I'm not going to argue with that. Our weights are all unofficial, but not so far off that anyone can't say Kevin VanDam has not put the smack down on the rest of this field today. It's just been magnificent.
Kevin said on stage after day 2, he said, I am saving one spot, and it's the best one I got. Proof today.
Kevin VanDam back in the winner's circle for the first time since winning the Classic to end the season back in 2005. Kevin VanDam came into this event as the all-time leader in money winnings. He will extend that one. We'll find out how much, and we'll make it all official. The entire weigh-in coming up when we return, and we'll run down how this victory happened on Guntersville for the one and only Kevin VanDam. Don't go away.
It's the Elite Series Southern Challenge, presented by Purelator. And brought to you by Pure Fishing, Triton Boats, Motor Guide, and Advance Auto Parts.
Ready to go weigh-in time? Here at the home of the state champion Wildcats in Guntersville, converted to a bass fishing coliseum.
KVD looking for his first Elite Series win, believe it or not.
Now, Kevin VanDam, we've seen what kind of day he had. This may be a foregone conclusion.
KVD looking for 18 pounds and 4 ounces for his first Elite Series win. 18-4, 25 pounds, 9 ounces. Kevin VanDam.
25 pounds, 9 ounces. How's that for a closer on Lake Guntersville?
Determination. It's a wonderful thing. Team Toyota's big show, Terry Scroggins.
Terry Scroggins up next, needs 25 pounds. Doesn't have that 16-13, still VanDam in charge.
He's the number 2 qualifier. He made up a bunch of ground yesterday and sat 11 ounces out of the lead. Out of South Carolina for Team Evan Williams Bourbon, let's hear it for Jason Quinn.
Jason Quinn comes up now. He needing 24 plus in order to take over the hot seat. Not going to happen. Good week, but 15-4 drops him to 4th.
He'll go 15 pounds and 4 ounces. Hey, what do you say, ladies and gentlemen? Let's go ahead and reach into the live well and see how this thing's going to end. Can Terry Butcher secure his first Elite Series win, ladies and gentlemen?
Now Terry Butcher, high hopes for this one.
What have we here? There you go. What do you say, ladies and gentlemen? Terry Butcher looking to seal the deal on his first win. KVD, why don't you watch this happen? Terry, let's get both of you right here in the center. Terry, you led this tournament. Today, you're looking for 23 pounds and 11 ounces. He's got 15 pounds and 11 ounces. Kevin VanDam, Southern Challenge champion.
And KVD, the legacy added to this week at Guntersville. First Elite Series win, and the KVD train rolls on.
Kalamazoo, Michigan's Kevin VanDam, Southern Challenge champion.
Look at that KVD right there. He loves to win, but I think he really, really loves to absolutely annihilate the rest of the competitors in a field. That really gets him charged.
Definitely. You know, you were at the tournament. There was one thing he was saying the whole week. He needed that $100 grand. He didn't know what.
Yeah.
He didn't know what for.
Well, yeah, what for? Yeah, for walking around money for the next week, I guess.
He just needed it.
Yeah, I don't believe that for a second. What he did need, though, was some Angler of the Year points. He did not make the cut the last time at Clark's Hill, and you got the updated list
Check
right now,
this
right?
out right here. Skeet Reese leading the pack, but a Kevin VanDam creeping up on him. The interesting thing in our Angler of the Year list right now, 3 out of the top 4 guys from California.
Yeah. Let's look at that all-time money list. Kevin VanDam made a big dent in that one right here coming into this. He had about an $80,000 lead on Denny Brower. Now it's closer to $200,000, so he's starting to pull away from the pack right there. We got a couple of majors. We got 3 majors coming up this year that are $250,000 to win this thing. Kevin VanDam's a streaky player. If he can get on and win one of these majors by the end of the season, he'll be closer to the $3 million mark than the $2 million mark.
We're not done with Kevin VanDam yet. What we're going to do right now is we're going to check out his final day. We're going to recap his track. And if you look right here at the map of Lake Guntersville, it looks very random, man. He's jumping spots, fishes each spot for about 45 minutes to an hour, bounce around to another. But he said one of the keys to winning this tournament was managing his fish and managing his spots. What he would do, he'd hit them hard for an hour, and then he'd let them reload. And if you look right here on this final day, one crankbait area, he said, man, I would back off of this area on days 1 and days 2.
Just got a couple of fish out of it, just to get his week going. Yeah.
Exactly, he said, but I am going to shell this area on the final day, and that's exactly what he did.
And under that water, he's got exactly what you were talking about earlier, the 2 kinds of grass, the milfoil and hydrilla. He's close to that ledge, that main river ledge, and it's just a perfect
and
combination.
Like he said where that thicker grass was, that hydrilla and that milfoil, where that was clumped together, is where he blew their doors on the final. Somebody asked me at the weigh-in, they said, how did he learn how to fish ledges? We don't have ledges in Kalamazoo, Tommy, but this was textbook outside weed line fishing, and that's how he won this event. I mean, he grew up a teenager winning tournaments fishing this way.
More about the grass than it was about the ledge.
Definitely.
That's interesting stuff. Well, it's all about the majors coming up. That's our next event, High Rock Lake. We got the Bassmaster American, $250,000 to the winner, and these guys have been trying throughout all this tournament. Everything this year has been pointed toward qualifying for that. We got the final list of the guys who've qualified there. Kevin VanDam at the top of that list. Mike Worm, the guy who qualified at the bottom. This is based on 2 years of fishing, including this year. So 06 and 07. Of course, Boyd Duckett, the Classic champ, gets in it last year. Mike Iaconelli, Angler of the Year, and our Rookie of the Year leader, Derek Rimmets, get a free ticket into this
How about
major.
a few people we're not going to see at this major this year? One of the all-time greats, Rick Clunn, did not qualify for this major. Not only that, right in his backyard, Marty Stone not going to be in our major. Going to be strange not seeing those guys.
Take us up to High Rock. The Bassmasters haven't been there since the 90s. What's going on at that lake?
2 things I'm going to say right now. Your crankbait fishermen, your Jason Quinns, your Timmy Hortons, they're going to do well. And a lot of your shallow flippers, your Denny Brower, Tommy Biffles, tons of boat docks on this lake. Those are my picks.
Those are your picks right there. Okay, I'm not even talking about T.O. Takahiro Mori. I think his style is going to come into play on that. We'll see if that pans out. been pretty good at picking them the last week. Ahead of
you
Scroggins
have,
and a
Tommy.
VanDam as we
Tommy
look
Sanders.
at our fantasy standings here.
Oh, good heavens.
Jerry McInnes has been run down, and Mark Zona, work cut out for him for the remainder of the season, and it is a long season.
I'm going to congratulate you, Tommy. But after that final weigh-in at Guntersville, I lost it, man. I was in the parking lot. I thrashed my rental car.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I
I did.
That didn't happen.
Trashed it. It was a bad deal. I was embarrassed. I should not have done it.
I'm glad you're feeling better now. I'd hate to see that rental car right now. ESPNOutdoors.com, that's where you go to get hooked up with all this fantasy fishing. You can get into it right now.
Hooked up.
Have a ball for the rest of the season. Also the place to find Hooked Up at the Bassmaster American. Hooked Up begins 30 minutes before the live weigh-in on ESPNOutdoors.com. We'll also have live updates all day long. That final day will get you really, really ready to decide this first great major of the year. That's coming up next time, the Bassmaster American, High Rock Lake. Hadn't been there since the Classic back in the 90s. We'll have it for you next time on our show.
Wow. That's one of them. Woo! Come here. All right. Hot dog.
Hot dog bait.
Ow.
We got it.
Yes. Boom. That's a big one. Boom.
Lights out.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to Bassmaster.com.
Kevin VanDam, Southern Challenge champion.